That's a very good question. And this is one of the things I've been talking about in Poland for like 6 years or so. And one of the things that I've noticed is that people mislead themselves with the fact that technology transfer is not a brokerage activity. In other words, it's not like a real estate that will sell you or offer you to rent a house. You say, I have a house, I want to sell it, or so I put two together. Technology transfer is a way of doing this business, of transferring knowledge from, for example, the university, whereby the university is not in a position to develop a product, to commercialize it, to market it, to produce. So you transfer the knowledge, you transfer the technology, you transfer the IP, the intellectual property, the patent, to somewhere else who can do, is capable of doing it, like a big company or a small company, a startup company, but they will take care of the commercialization, full commercialization, from the moment they get it to the moment they have a final product on the market. This is technology transfer, and people, unfortunately, don't really follow this definition. Of course, I can compare it. I must admit that I was the deputy managing director of the most important technology transfer company in Israel. It's called YEDA, of the Weizmann Institute. And I was there for 4 years, during 1987 to 1990, or 1986 actually. But the point is that this was almost 30 years ago, and the technology transfer was on very, very early stages, infancy stages, where we have developed concepts how to do it, especially when it comes to university. Because when you're working in university, you are working with scientists that are dedicated to science. They don't have in mind business. They want to publish, they are teaching. Now, sometimes they might have a project or an idea or results that can have a commercial potential. They don't know that. It's hard to know that. Even experienced people don't know if there is a commercial potential, because the fact that it's working in the laboratory with the mice or with the in vitro, it doesn't mean that can be product at the end of the day. And I can explain about that. But the fact is that you need people who have scientific background, who understand the market, who have some experience with the industry, how to deal with them, how to negotiate with them, and look in the campus for ideas, for projects that might have a commercial potential. Now, once you have such a project, what I like to call is you package it in a way that you can present it to the industry. Now, how can you do that? You have, first of all, to make sure that there is a market, that it is really novel, it is new, that you can protect it with by patent. So the potential industry will have protection, will be the only one to use the technology, sort of a monopoly, which is, it is fine to be a monopoly when you have IP, as opposed to antitrust and stuff. That's not, I will not talk about that at the moment. So you need to package this. To do that, you have to develop techniques how to do that. I mean, how to package it. And this is what we've been doing, and successfully doing, because you may know, and I will tell you in any case, that in those years there were some drugs, or actually there were only research projects that has been running at the Weizmann Institute. And two of these projects, at least I'm mentioning now, they became blockbuster product. Like one of them is Copaxone, which is sold by Teva, and the other is Reviv. Both of them are, by the way, for multiple sclerosis. These two drugs together sell, the annual sales of these two drugs, it should be approximately maybe $5 billion. Just two drugs coming out of the vitamins. It's not on, there are more, but I'm just mentioning those as an example. And now, that could be achieved only if we were able to license it to a company that is capable and competent to develop this product all the way. And it took maybe 10 years to develop this product. Now, the other thing is that in return for giving the license, for granting a license, these companies are paying royalties, a certain percentage of their revenue, back to the university. Now, this is a big amount of money that comes back to the university that can be used to be reinvested in science, to be reinvested in new projects, and so on and so forth, but only part of it. Normally, the revenues, the royalties, are split between the university and the scientist. So the scientist gets about 40% of this money. So it's an incentive for them to collaborate with the technology transfer company, and it's good for their reputation, and they keep their science still working. So they keep their laboratory, they have money for the laboratory, and they have money for themselves and their family. So this is the experience in Israel. Just an example. I have an entire lecture just discussing these aspects, but of course in a short interview we cannot go into that. But I hope I gave you I made my point to demonstrate the activities of technology transfer in Israel as opposed to other countries. Not all of the countries have this capacity. Of course, one of the important things that I should point out is that you need to have excellent projects. You need to have excellent scientists. You need to have the competent technology transfer companies to do these jobs. When you have all this together, success is only a question of time.